Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video and welcome to you guys in the chat if you're here watching this live. I thought it would be interesting to go and look at the community survey that Benbit, who is another Battlefield YouTuber, you guys may be familiar with him, but he put out this survey a few months ago, and this is interesting because unlike the surveys that EA and DICE put out, which we don't get to see the results for, right? They ask you a lot of questions on the game, like what do you prefer and all the rest of it, but we don't really know what they do with this information. For all we know, they could just, roll it up in a ball and throw it in the waste paper basket. But for this one, we can actually see all of the responses, and as you guys can tell, there's over 6,000 of them. So I thought it's interesting because not only can we see the results of this, but then we're also going to know if DICE and EA bother to act on this feedback at all with like the next Battlefield game, if that makes sense. So if what they do for the next game is completely different than what it says in the survey here, which is likely to be the same results as all the other surveys that EA have sent us, then, well, basically we know they're just listening to the investors and not to the players, don't we? This is already kind of interesting to me. The largest age group here is 25 to 34, closely followed by 18 to 24. I am in this green wedge here, 35 to 44, but there's a good smattering of players. I guess people who play Battlefield, I feel like they're kind of more, like, maybe slightly older than the COD crowd, so that's kind of cool. Unsurprisingly, the largest gender here is male. What's your favorite Battlefield game? Okay, 35% say Battlefield 4, 21 Battlefield 3, 19 BF1, Battlefield 5, 8%. And then 4.6% said Battlefield 2042 is their favorite game. I say no more. Okay, which settings should the game have? Almost 50% say it should be a modern game. And what else do we have here? Near future, 13.5. I would say that near future and modern are pretty much the same thing. Cold War, I wouldn't mind that either. That's also not too far in the past for me. How should the game's tone be? Serious and realistic. 87.9%. Enough said. Keep it serious, DICE. If I see so much as one end of round voice line, I'm done. How important is realism? 44% say important, 27 neutral, 12 less important, and 14.7 very important. So I would agree in this segment here. I do think it's important, but not at the expense of gameplay. What should be the game's main mode? 72% say Conquest. That's what I said, I think. How many players should Conquest be designed for? 64. Like, you can really see here that in almost every single question, there is like an overwhelming single answer, more often than not. The community doesn't seem to be that split. We do have 20% who say 128. Should there be a battle royale or an extraction mode? No. Rather not. I mean, some of the answers to these questions, to be honest, are weird. Like, to me, this is a yes or a no question. Yes or no. Not like, well, I'd rather not, but if you have to put one in there, well, fine. Like, just yes or no, because it's kind of splitting up the answer here. Anyway, would be nice, 14%. Yes, definitely 5%. So I would say if it was a yes or no, there would be like a 75% wedge here that would just say no. Should there be an esports, competitive, or ranked mode? Interesting question. 16%. Yes, definitely. It would be nice. Neutral, 25%. Rather not. I'd say overall, it's pretty 50-50. I don't think people care about that too much. Which mode should be included in the game? So, Conquest, Breakthrough, of course. Operations from BF1 is pretty high. TDM, Rush. And then we've got Front Lines, and then we've got these three here. Domination, Gunmaster, and Tank and Air Superiority. I didn't think Tank Air Superiority would be as high as it is. Which form of classes? Regular classes. All games except Battlefield 2042. So almost 90% of people here, they just want the regular class system. 90%. This is a great example. If DICE don't do this, they're not listening to us. Should weapons be locked to classes? 48% say some of them, 38.8% say just yes, And then 7.7 say no, but there should be specializations or just no altogether. I think some of them is the best way. That's how it was in Battlefield 4, right? You did have certain weapon categories. Was it the carbines that you could use on any class? But then there was one certain category of weapon that was specific to like one class. Okay, vehicles. How strong should vehicles be compared to infantry? So 50% say strong, 41% say balanced. Weaker? Weaker? Who the hell voted that vehicles should be weaker than infantry? What? Oh, come on. Very weak, 0.6%. 34 people are very weak, obviously. Okay, which vehicles should be included? Attack heli, scout heli. I'm surprised. I thought after Battlefield 2042, everybody would be hating, especially the scout helicopter, aka the Nightbird. The jet, 90%. Bomber jet, definitely fewer people here. I guess you can include the the A-10 and the attack jets in there. 86% think the transport heli. The gunship, only 41%. So I'm surprised it's that high. I thought we figured this out, guys. We had this decided, didn't we? This is a bad idea. Okay, let's just no more gunships. No more gunships, dice. Should attack helis have TV missiles? Overwhelmingly, yes. Should the game use the vehicle category system for 2042? 31% say yes. So that surprises me because everybody knows it's terrible. That was one of the main problems with vehicle balance in 2042. They didn't balance it that way, basically the same way they did in BF4. I don't know why you would want that. Should additional vehicles be made available by capturing certain flags? 75% actually say yes, 25% say no. So for those of you who haven't experienced this, in Battlefield 4 and I think this was in 5 and 1, but I didn't really play those games that much. This was kind of like one of those things that made the games a little bit too lopsided, because if one team would capture, let's say, the Central Sea flag, if that was like the one flag in the middle of the map that was by itself, they would get like an attack helicopter. And that would then make it even easier for them to steamroll, right? They've already got an advantage by having the middle flag. Now they get an attack helicopter as well. But on the flip side, it actually made the flags kind of interesting. You had like an extra reason, like this flag was worth more than this flag over here. There was a reason to go there. Should vehicles have limited ammunition, needs to be resupplied at stations. So this is the attrition thing. This is pretty 50-50. I'm definitely in the no camp here. I don't like attrition at all. How high should the TTK time to kill be? Medium, like in BF1 right now. Low, like in 2042. Okay, should visual recoil exist? Yes, but bullets should go where I'm aiming. 23% say yes, but reduced, and 12% say yes to its full extent. I want him prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Give me the full extent of your visual recoil, dice. Hell no, dude. Should you be able to control spread? 91% say yes. 8.8% said no. Why would you not? What? Why would you not want to control spread? How should recoil be implemented? Pattern-based with a random element, or 100% pattern-based? So this is pretty damn split here. That's interesting, man. How large should magazines be? 30. Right. People aren't liking the larger mags, man. I think having smaller magazines, it slows down the gameplay, right? It causes people to get into cover more often, have to reload, you know, just chill out a minute. Okay, how strong should sidearms be? Slightly weaker than primaries. 15 said significantly weaker than primaries, and 10 said as strong as primary weapons? Why? Okay, that makes no sense. Why would you want them as strong as primary weapons? I'm happy. I'm happy with 74. In fact, I'm happy with 90% of you guys. How much damage should grenades do? 100 in a small area, so they can one-shot you. Less than 100 in a large area, or 100 in a large area. Again, who are these 10%, man? Like, have you even played a game before? Should sniper rifles one-shot on the body at close range? Wow. 65% yes, 35% no. How good should hipfire be? Significantly less accurate than ADS. How should aim assist work? Ooh, big question here. Weaker rotational aim assist and slowdown. No assist at all. 28.5% say this. So, I'd like to know if these were all PC players. No rotational aim assist, but slowdown. strong rotational aim assist, and slowdown. So only 5.6% here seem to actually want like super strong aim assist, which I think is good. People seem to realize, even console players seem to realize that aim assist is very good. How should suppression work? 33.8 says suppression that's only visual. 38.6 suppression that affects spread and visuals. Wow, a lot of people actually want that. Visual, even that annoys me, but like I can live with that. Okay, should the squad revive exist? Yes, at less than 100%, or, you know, yes at 100% HP but slower time. How should the medic revive work? Revive with charging, oh, like in BF4, most people actually want that. Should there be ammo and medic stations on the map? Yep, pretty unanimous there. Should you be able to manually take ammo and healing from players? 85% say yeah. I really think this would be a good idea. Like, how many times do you run into medics and support players and they just don't drop something for you? Maybe they're just a new player and they don't realize it. It's a good thing to have in the game, man. All right, how large should squads be? 48% say 4 people. Then we got 5 people, and then 12% want 6. 3% want more than 6. That would just be way too like difficult to balance, I feel. Should there be a commander role? Yes, like in BF4, says almost half of everybody here. 25% no, 29% yes in the game as a soldier on the ground. So that was like, I believe, the Battlefield 2 system. Okay, should squad call-ins exist? Yes, via squad points. So people really like that from Battlefield 5, actually. Okay, how important are platoons? Very important, needs to be present at launch. Almost half of everybody says this. Relatively important, should be present a few weeks or months after release. I mean, why should it be present after release, though? If it's going to be in the game, just make it and put it in the game, man. Should all chat exist? Yes, and enabled by default. Thank you. Of course it should be. If you don't like it, turn it off. Should the chat be censored? Yes, but only for severe cases. And 44% just say no. Okay, should additional proximity chat be implemented? 41% say yes here, so seems that most people want it. Should the community be more involved in decision making? 80% say yes. 17% say the same as right now, and 2% say less. Why would you not want to give your input on the game? Okay, how important is it for the community test environment to come back? 62% say very important. 31% important. Agreed. It was such a great initiative. Like, I don't understand why it's gone from the game, man. Okay, are you happy with the current community management? 50% say no. That's what I voted, by the way. No surprises there. 44.7% are neutral, which makes sense, right? Because most people aren't really interacting with like the community managers, and the 4.8% say yes. So that's not great, is it? That only 5% of people said they're happy with the current community management. Do you wish more transparency regarding decision making from the developers? Overwhelmingly, yeah. Okay, should servers be persistent? Yep, of course. Should there be a server browser? Obviously. Should SBMM exist? No. Yes, but not strong. Wow, there's actually way more people that want this in the game than I expected here. Should a team balancing be implemented? Yes, but only between matches. Okay, should you be able to manually switch teams? Yes, but only under certain circumstances, so it doesn't imbalance the match and not shortly before the end. I think that makes sense. Should you be able to host your own servers? Yes, paid, provided by DICE or third parties, or yes, for free. Okay, how should crossplay between consoles and PC be handled? Optional crossplay. I would like input-based crossplay, though. That would make a lot of sense. Maybe that could be like an additional option. Should indirect fire explosives like mortars exist? Yes. Wow, okay. I thought most people would say no to that because it's just kind of like a cheesy weapon. How should the attachment system work? 43% here say like in BF3 and 4. 28.9% like in Battlefield 2042, more than a few attachments with bigger impact. Should the plus system for 2042 be implemented? 57% say no. I actually don't mind the plus system. I think it's one of the few things that's been decent added to Battlefield 2042. Is it important for weapon stats to be shown accurately and comprehensively in-game? Yes, very. Should sniper scopes have glint? Most say yes, or yes, but only under certain circumstances. Movement, how fast should you be able to move, like in Battlefield 3 or 4? And then 28% see it here, say like in 2042 or Modern Warfare 2019. Okay, which additional features should be present? Bunny hopping, 22%. Crouch running is the top contender here, I think. Back prone, ledge grabbing. Oh no, the top contender here is high vaulting, in fact, from BF1 and 5. Then we've got roll from jump, tactical sprint. McKay's grappling hook is pretty low here. Wingsuit's also pretty low. So again, it seems people aren't too kind on this like hyper mobility that's been in 2042. How should the game be supported? DLCs and premium, 54.3%. 39.9 say live service. That's much larger than I thought. I thought this would be like 70-80% here. How much would you pay for one DLC? 4 maps, 4 to 5 guns, 1 vehicle, etc. $10? Really? Like, that's nothing, man. $5? For like 4 maps, 4 to 5, that's like a premium pack right here. Like, price have doubled. Maybe it's 50% more, maybe $15 is fair. 10's way low though, man. Okay, how much would you pay for a battle pass? Nothing, I wouldn't buy it. 45%. 25% say they'd pay $10. Around 25% are prepared to pay $10 for 4 maps, 4 to 5 guns, and a vehicle, but they're also prepared to pay $10 for a battle pass. Okay, how long after release should the first content package, DLC, or season release? 3 months. Yeah, I think that's a good amount. How long should the game be supported with major updates and content? Until the next Battlefield game releases. Yes, thank you. That's what we need. We just need constant content. And then maybe at the end of the life cycle of the game, they can have 3 months off, okay? We give them 3 months at the end of the game. If a content package releases every 3 months, how many maps should be included? 3, 2, 4. Yeah, I'd say 3 or 4. At least 2. I would say at least 3. If a content package releases every 3 months, how many weapons should be included? 30% say 4. 20% say 5. 3. 6. So yeah, I mean, I would like 5. 5 would be, okay. How many maps should be in the game at release? 10 to 12. I think Battlefield 1 and like 5 had, was it 10, 11 maps? 2042 had, I think, 7, was it? How many weapons should be in the game at release? 20 to 30 here, 30 to 40, 40 to 50? That's a big ask. I'd say I'm somewhere here. Anywhere between like 40, yeah, maybe 40, 50. Is it important for you to have a clearly defined roadmap of the game's support with binding amounts and frequency of content? Very important. Yeah, I think that is very important. I think that's the only thing, in fact, that really kept them going with 2042, is that they were committed to 4 seasons, and they knew they had to fix the game because they can't release seasons without the game being okay to play. Okay, maps here. New section, guys. Which type of map do you like the most? Urban maps with a focus on infantry, or mixed maps? Only 10% here say big open maps like Goldmud Railway, Armored Kill, Panzerstorm, etc. That is surprising. I mean, I like a mixture of these 3 here. You know what I mean? Should maps be specifically designed for major modes? Yes, but only modify them as necessary. Yes, completely separate. I think this is a good idea, honestly, to have just like rush maps, breakthrough maps, and then conquest maps. It's also going to change the game up a little bit, right? So whenever you switch mode, you're like playing on a new map. Okay, should there be more infantry or more vehicle-focused maps? Most people say the same amount, and then 36% say more with an infantry focus, so that's kind of as expected there. Do you prefer linear or non-linear maps? Most people say non-linear. Would you like to see remastered or remade maps? 75% of people say yes here, so, I've never really had a problem with remastered or remade maps. How many times have I had Wake Island? Never gets old. How much destruction should there be? More stuff is destroyable like in Bad Company. Some stuff is destroyable like in Battlefield 3 and 4. Everything is destroyable like in the finals. Wow, a lot of people actually want that. Would you want Levolution from BF4 or Behemoths from Battlefield 1 to return? So most people say Levolution and Behemoths, and then the next one is Levolution there. Would you like to go back to the battle log system? Yes, with the option to do it in-game, but with reduced features. I mean, why not just have all the features? Or maybe in-game and battle log. How do you find the time to get a match in 2042? It's okay, slightly too long, much too long, and it's good. It was way too long when the game released. I think it's okay now. How important is a single player mode? So it seems roughly like 50% say it's actually somewhat important here, a quarter are like neutral, and then just over a quarter don't really care. So this is actually more than I thought here. How has your opinion on DICE and Battlefield changed after the recent game's release and support? 47% are much more negative, 31% slightly more negative, and 9% more positive? 2% of people are now much more positive about DICE. Again, I don't know where this 2% of people came from, but I think they need to go for an IQ check. Okay, would you buy the next Battlefield game? Wait for reviews and buy a few days or weeks later if positive. I'm proud of you guys. Wait for initial reviews and buy on release if positive. I think this is like 75% here of people say they are going to wait for reviews. But is that actually going to happen? Which type of music would you want? Battlefield 3 and 4 modern, or Battlefield 1 and 5 orchestral? What, they don't like the whale sounds? 3.9% of people like the 2042 abstract music. How important are the following features? So for squad management, very important, and I would agree. And then hardcore mode, neutral. So most people just don't really care about hardcore mode one way or another. I think that's where I'm at. I don't like if it's on offer in the game, like cool for those people who enjoy it, but personally I don't play it. Scoreboard is very important. No shit, DICE. In-game stat page looks pretty important as well. Battle log, important or neutral? I do like battle log, but I understand that people think it's a bit outdated maybe. Leaderboards, pretty important here as well. Ribbons, also pretty important. Service stars. Oh yeah, service stars. Those were a thing. Those were cool. Dog tags. I've never really gotten giddy about grabbing somebody's tags. Spectator mode. Test range. This one's a little bit higher. I think this is important. High tick rate servers, 60 Hz plus, very important here. Yes. Good mouse and controller input, obviously. And solo and co-op mode, there's like a pretty even distribution here. So like, I don't think people really care about this too much. So that's it, guys. That was a long one. I feel like this has been like an hour or something, dude. This poll went on for way longer than I imagined, but I have to say, I'm pretty happy with the results here. I'm happy with the Battlefield community, and we can only assume that out of all the polls that have gone directly to EA, you know, the polls that they've sent out to players, that people have answered pretty similarly. So the data that I've just shown you, that we've just gotten here, EA have that data. They know what the player base want. So just bear that in mind when the next game rolls around. If they bring out any marketing nonsense and, you know, they say that the players wanted this or the players wanted that, like, we have it in writing pretty much here that this is what people want. Hopefully DICE are going to listen to us and they're going to stick to this. I also wouldn't hold your breath, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for the future. Guys, if you enjoyed the video today, don't forget to hit the sub button. I'm going to bring you, well, as much Battlefield content as I can going into the future. Hopefully there's going to be some news on the horizon. I'm also going to be getting into some Delta Force in a couple of weeks when the alpha test opens up for that one. So if that's something that interests you, hit up that sub button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.